see where this confidence takes them. Like, because, yeah, boot camping, you know, like, it's nice to be around friends. At the same time,
We're Dota players, we're not really social creatures.
Right.
Like, spending too much time around your teammates can be detrimental to your health and to your gameplay. So, you know, sometimes it's better to just stay at home. Have your mom make you dinner, breakfast, and lunch. You know,
Miss you, mum.
like exactly. You don't have to. You just don't have to be around your teammates all the time.
Look at this. 5RATFORCESTAFF, they've already gone for a big smoke up, wrapping around through the bottom lane. This is very unexpected, and Husky, he's still just hanging around. He's under vision now. They'll get the lift up into the Dragon Tail, and that should be an easy kill to go their way as Husky does drop. Red to pick up the kill on the Leshrac.
Yeah, they get the kill. I love these feeds when I'm a support, you know. They make me feel... Just play better. Like, if you catch me as 5 and I die, I just get an incentive to play better throughout the game. You know? Call you nerds at the end. Like, yeah, good gang, guys. Good job.
Yeah, certainly so. So we are going to start, I believe, with the top lane. DNM going to be chasing Lelis right now on that Tusk. So this TB, I mean, we kind of already talked about it. The panel mentioned it, this weird Radiance build-up we saw in Western Europe. I don't know what kind of build-up we're going to be expecting here, but do you have any kind of ideas to the itemization of the TB this game?
I think it should be run-of-the-mill standard build on TB. I don't expect any Radiances. You aren't ever playing versus any heroes that... need to be AoE damaged constantly, no illusions, no slarks, nothing like that, so just your casual, get your BKBs, your Mantas, your Scuddies, and you should be fine.
Right. Of course, the mid lane, Gunner's going to be against Red 2 here on the Leshrac. Red, of course, really enjoys playing this Leshrac mid. Then again, he is up against Gunner's Ember, and I still remember fondly the first time I ever watched Gunner play a pro match was back when he was in an amateur team called, well, not amateur team, but he was in a team called Ginnisbras in open qualifiers for, I believe, SEA. And this was the hero that really impressed me is his Ember.
Really?
And here he is again.
Whenever I hear Gunner, I just imagine Razor. Like that's the hero I remember him playing quite a bit,
right,
like, back in the day. But Ember as well, obviously. Ember, he was playing some Lone Druid as well, right? Like recently.
Oh yes,
of course. Like in the game that we've casted for the first time that I casted with you. By the way, I still remember our first time, Mike. It was the Lone Druid played by Gunner.
Yeah, it was a lot of Wraith bans that game, I believe, if I remember correctly.
Quite a few, yeah.
Oh, nice dodge from Gunner as well, just avoiding that split earth there.
Missing 2 creeps though.
He certainly did. Not the greatest. I mean, Red is having a pretty darn good time in the mid lane. I mean, this matchup between Leshrac and Ember, like, is it meant to favor the Leshrac this hard?
I feel like you aren't really shutting down the Ember as Lesh. He's not... How better is he at the moment? 9 CS versus 5. I mean, Gunner can bounce back. Like, it's not the denies... There weren't many denies. It's just that he missed a couple of last hits under the towers. So
right.
That was the problem.
Of course, bottom lane as well. You're going to see Yamson and Husky there against Moose. And, of course, your boy Speed on that offlane DK. I believe it was T-Panda who had his doubts about the offlane DK here from Speed. In particular, he mentioned Speed's name when he had those doubts.
He had like some... It was an interesting way of calling out my boy Speed. I spent one summer on the lake with him, I believe.
Did you really?
I think I did. I think it was this Speed, yeah.
It's very
it was
romantic.
Stormer, Speed, Jabs. All of us were on a lake in Sweden.
Wow.
Good times.
Giant, he's not having a very good time right now. He'll drop the Tombstone on the Undying. Does have plenty of strength available. Moo already putting the hand up. Snowball will be there, but it may not land. But no, he'll get there just in the nick of time.
Decay.
Giant does get the decay off, still running towards the tier 2 tower, but seems like he is set to fall.
Yeah.
Giant, I mean, at least he gets the split gold between the two, but nevertheless, still a nice pick up there for now.
Yeah, he made them travel all the way to the tier 2 tower. TB, meanwhile, he's farming under the tower, so if you're Undying, I guess that's not the end of the world. They wasted a lot of their spells, their mana, resources, so I think you're fine. You TP back, you give some items, tangles to your carry. I just love justifying position 5 feeding, by the way.
Hey, I feel you, man.
I do it for the bros, you know.
I get you, man. I'm a pos 5 player myself. We gotta feed sometimes, you know. It just happens.
Gotta cover each other's backs, you know.
Nobody else will.
Of course.
That's for sure. course, talking back to speed for a moment on that DK, I mean, you heard the doubts happening. I do have a question. Speed's known for his Midas gameplay. This man loves Midas. If he can buy Midas on any hero, he will buy it 100% of the time. And I want to ask you straight off the bat, is this going to be a Midas game for Speed's DK?
I hope it isn't. Like, if he has some insane game and he gets a Midas, like, okay, maybe it can work. But you have a job as a DK in this game, and that's to initiate, to stun. Like, there's no one else that can do it. Rubik, you cannot not wait for him to get that Blink Dagger, so... If you're DK, I believe that Midas is way too greedy.
Yamsun, bottom lane, a bit of a chase to break out. Lift is going to be there, but he does have Husky to back him up on the IO. Heals are coming in, but it's still a lot of damage being dealt by Speed and Moose. Yamsun's still on the run. Speed still chasing him down. Plasma Field will be thrown out. Yamsun should be okay, though. Speed's still going. Go after Husky instead, but at the very least for now, they are really forcing Nouns to waste a lot of time in this safe lane as they do back off successfully. But my goodness, this DK Rubik, like just no fear in the world.
Yeah, no fear. At the same time, their lane is pushing in, so they have missed quite a few of those last hits. I hope Yamsun goes back to the lane, by the way. This isn't worth it any longer. Like, you're just missing farm here, right? Like, the DK, he takes some damage, he has that Dragon Blood. He's gonna heal up anyway, so... But eventually, they get back.
Nice little glyph there as well. Speed, he wants to go for a dive in. Does find the IO, and that should be another. Husky, he will drop or pop the glyph for that, but it seems all worth it. And well, now you've got Yamsun alone for a little bit. Maybe you could find an opening.
You can dive him even. Like, look at all the creeps. For some reason, Speed has moved away. Like, he moved the creeps into the small camp. Maybe they could have dove on him there. It would be risky, obviously, but was perhaps possible. Look at the difference between the two cores, by the way. The two carries. Like, look at the TB and his CS, and look at the Razor.
The Duke out by Gunner, but yeah, I agree with you there. Like, this TB's farming way too freely at the moment. Only behind his own Leshrac, and that's kind of scary, right? Because TB, it's known to be one of those heroes that can flash farm very, very fast once you do get into that jungle with those mirror images. This Gunner, he's going to maybe be ganked in the mid lane. Very low on mana right here, but he's going to throw a Remnant out. Still doesn't have the mana to actually go back towards that Remnant at the moment. There will be a lift up, but Gunner will just casually walk back. So they did drop the Tombstone as well, but it seems like 5RAT, they want to try and abuse the 5-minute siege creep timing. So they will pop the Diabolic Edict here on red. Tombstone to protect them. Lelis is going to show up, but the shards are a little bit off the mark.
Why do you think, why did Red, like, hesitate there? Like, there was Split Earth, there was no mana on Ember to move back. Like, it was interesting. I thought that maybe they had him, but he just moved back after taking that Sleight of Fist damage.
That's fair. I mean, maybe because the Tombstone was going to expire. I mean, that's my best guess, but I kind of agree with you on that. They probably could have played around a little bit longer. It's DNM, speaking of playing around, is being chased down here by Moo, but it seems like Moo's going to be okay to back his way out. The TB going to hang around his T2 tower.
Yeah, meanwhile, his Illusion is farming under the tower anyway. Now Red TPs as well to just to make sure that the Tier 1 tower stays alive for a bit longer.
It looks like Moo's just going to creep skip instead. Just pops the Firefly, gets the farm. The red is rotating, but Moo should just be able to get to the low ground. Does have Lelis there just in case he needs it. And DNM, I mean, with all this happening, like you mentioned, he was still farming just with his Illusion behind the Tier 1 tower, and he's still top of the net worth board on this TB. Like, there's no slowing him down at the moment.
Yeah, they aren't really putting in any resources to stop him. Like, there's the Bat Rider on the top lane, but when you look at the map, they're not really playing the top lane. It's mostly 5RATs that are defending the top and making sure that TB has a good time. So eventually, Nouns might rotate Gunner towards the top lane if he gets a good rune, which is he getting right now.
Right. Perfect rune there with the double damage. See where the rotations do happen. Gunner, I mean, you kind of mentioned it. You've got to find a way to deal with this TB. Mind you, I mean, in terms of net worth, Gunner's not sitting too bad. Like, 4th place right now in net worth. Maybe he just wants a little bit more before he bothers, but we'll see what Gunner wants to do. Obviously, again, DNM getting getting away with a bit too much free farm as Lelis is going to intervene here, just trying to annoy him in this jungle. Steals a creep away, but not too big of a deal as Gunner. Instead, is going to start forcing in the Tier 1 mid tower. looking to be a little bit aggressive here against Red. Obviously deals a lot of damage with that Sleight of Fist and double damage at the moment. So they are going to move in. Lift is going to be there. Split Earth, though, is going to be off the mark. And now Gunnar, he's going to go for the dive in, but can't deal with the damage. Will Remnant away and barely survives through it. And so will Red.
Yeah. Obviously, the only difference is as Ember, you TP back to base, you come in a little bit faster. Maybe you can go on the Rubik.
I mean, you just said it. Moves. Going to be chased down. Gunnar should have the kill and will. Very nice pick up there from our Ember.
Meanwhile, the Undying obviously is helping the TB in the jungle. One bad thing is they had a lot of stacks, and I say it as a bad thing because it's not really that enjoyable for a TB to farm without the illusions, without the meta. So you actually had to pop that tombstone. You actually had to commit a pretty big spell, a pretty significant spell in order to secure TB's farm. And it's not really secured. Like, Lelis is very annoying here.
Hey, he's just been left alone. Like, he can just keep hanging around soaking XP on this task, and yeah, he's constantly been snagging creeps away from this Terrorblade. And that has allowed Yamsun as well. Like, on this Razor, suddenly he's second in net worth. The TB has dropped to the 5th, or rather 4th place. And so that they have successfully slowed down his farm just a little bit. It's a 10-minute power rune now. Lelis going to secure the illusion rune for Gunnar. Not too big of a rune anyway, but could come in handy as... I mean, they may group up and try to force the mid-tier 1 tower in a little bit here now.
Yeah, what's really the difference? Yamsun is still farming under the tier 1 tower. Meanwhile, TB is in the jungle. Obviously, you get that GPM advantage from normal creeps. So, Yamsun just... He should get out. I feel like he doesn't know, obviously, what we do. But perhaps this is the right time to bail.
Could be. See what they want to do. Gunnar, in the meantime, going to start pushing in that mid-tier 1 tower. Speed and Red, they're going to show up down at the bot tier 1. Siege creeps are available, but you don't want to allow the mid-tier 1 to go down if you are the Dire right now. Still, they can get through the tier 1 bottom tower very, very quickly with this Dragon Knight Leshrac combination, and Speed will immediately TP into the mid-tier 1 to try and defend this, but chains are out. They found the DK already with the shards. Oh, the shards are off the mark. And now the Snowball might be right into his own death. They do get the Dragon Tail with the lift up set up from Moose. Lela's still trying to survive the best he can. They'll try to turn it. Giant now the one in danger will back his way out. And somehow Lelis will finally go down as Red does show up from the side. Even finding Yamsun now with the split of that. But look at the damage output from Gunnar. Just doing so much here for his team. Chasing down Red on the Leshrac. He'll find a double. He might even find a triple. Speed is going to try to run. They have the tumblers to close the gap. And Gunnar will walk away with a triple kill. And they even found the tier 1 mid.
Damn. Such a bad player, didn't kill Rubik and didn't get the ultra. No, for real, like that was so much damage. Ember is a scary hero when he's played by someone as good as Gunnar. Like, you can see just how much he can do in a fight such as that one, and that did not look like a good fight for them. Ice shards messed everything up. Like, if they catch DK here, it's an easy pick off into tier 1 tower. It's not messy. But sometimes your mistakes create opportunities. Chaos is a ladder or whatever, you know? Like, you go in, if you can outplay them after the mistake, like, you can probably reel in a couple of kills.
Yeah, I mean, Lelis just survived so long here on the Tusk as well, right? Like, that, it seems like that's what enabled the opening here. And
I feel like the best plays in this game were set up by mistakes of the team that made those best plays. Because it's very hard to bait people in the tier 1 scene anymore. Like, it happens, but it's hard. However, if you make a mistake, you're obviously baiting them into something, right? Like, they see an opportunity and then you counterattack.
That's the thing now. Gunnar gets very, very close to that Maelstrom timing. And considering he was a bit behind in terms of net worth, now sitting second place, just behind the Leshrac. Nouns look like the favorites again going into this game 1. Moo's going to be spotted there for a moment by Lelis, but Lelis won't bother for a shard throw out. Speed, meanwhile, hanging around the mid lane. Not going to go for anything. Red was right behind him, but they don't seem to have the initiation tools right now on this Dragon Knight.
Well, they do. It's not just on the courier. It's flying over. Once he gets that blink, maybe you can smoke up. Both of the supports do carry smokes. They're running back. That's going to happen. Now the only question is, who do they want to kill? There's an Ember, and he is extremely juicy.
Can they get him? I mean, he is running right towards DNM. This could be the perfect opportunity It seems like they have spotted the Ember. Gunner, does he fall for it though? Dragon Tail is there. It's going to land to set up, but they don't have the follow-up stun.
I think, you know what, like, this is a mistake of the Terrorblade. Like, if you notice what was happening here, if there's an Ember +1 moving into your triangle, and there's a TB, you're moving towards him, like, you're giving something away. Like, if he moved back a little bit, if he just ran towards the tier 2 tower, Gunner would feel a little bit safer, a little bit cockier. Perhaps he'd try to do an aggressive play.
Well, at least they are going to find a task. Shards are going to block the staircase, though, and Lelis has survived a little bit too long now, so he can go for the snowball in. Lelis, though, getting sharded up by moves, will go down as now Gunner does get caught out, but does have the remnant away. He's going to be just fine. So 5RAT, they'll walk away with at least a Tusk kill, but that's about it for now.
That remnant on the mid lane. Like, okay, he goes back in. They don't have dragon form anymore, right? Yeah, it just expired, so another big dragon form used without really doing a lot, but they're fine. The TB is farming bottom lane. He's already taking the map, like slowly just pushing in with the illusions.
It's a very close game as well. Dota Plus thinking 52% to 48% the way of Nouns, so just a very, very close matchup here between these two teams. And that's the thing as well, like, 5RAT, they recently had roster changes. I believe they got rid of Albino Zebra.
Three players, right? Or two? How many did they
Moose
change?
came in as well.
Yeah.
At least two came in here for 5RAT.
Yeah.
Have to say as well, Neff did send me a message saying to point out the fact that he thinks they're very bad for getting rid of Albino Zebra and wanted to call out 5RAT for that. Especially Pandas, apparently, who manages the side of 5RAT. Nouns?
Especially calling them out in Neff's name, obviously. Shout out to Neff.
Don't shout out Neff. He doesn't deserve it. Top lane. Scan is out. Now, they know Moose and Speed are hanging around red right there on the left track. Seems like Moo is the one who wanted to know. It's one of those fun games where two players have the same name on the opposite teams. Always a pleasure to cast those kind of games.
You should have casted Chinese Division 2 last month.
I did.
You did, exactly. So, remember.
Yeah, I do remember those names. Not really a problem anymore, though. Thankfully, I suppose.
Yeah. One way or another.
Yeah. So 5-6 now, 16 minutes in. Quite a slow matchup between these two teams. Both sides seemingly just comfortable farming for now. There have been a few group ups here from either side, but neither team's really made the attempt to smoke up and travel across the map to try and find each other. Just more than happy to farm up. Yes?
Yes. No, everyone just kind of happy farming up, but I think the items that are coming for Nouns will be more significant at this point in the game. Because you have these... what do you have? You have a BKB on both the Razor and the Bat. Once that's up, like, you're pretty much set. You should be fighting constantly. Meanwhile, on the side of 5RATs, what are you actually waiting for? Like, maybe a BKB on the DK? Well, that's about it. Like, you're never ready to fight until TB is online, right? Like, you're just delaying this game from this point onwards.
Well, Moo, I mean, he's currently being watched right now at the top lane. Moose is there on the Rubik, along with Speed. They could try to make a play on the Batrider, but seems like they might just be lacking damage to actually secure the kill, so Speed goes down towards the bot lane instead. They could try for the tier 2 bottom tower if they wish. DNM is hanging around the area on the TB. Still very farmed up now on the Terrorblade, second in net worth, only to his own Leshrac.
That's a huge rotation, this huge ass smoke going towards mid. Red.
He's just getting away with the Diabolic Edict. No one's really there to punish him apart from Gunner. In fact, Speed, he's going to pop the Dragon Form preemptively. Moo does show up as well. Red in a bit of a hard place at the moment. Does get trapped up. Does pop the Bloodstone, but it's not going to matter. In fact, Yamsun now can get right to work. Taking down Speed, taking down Giant. They might even find Moose on the Rubik, though Chains is not going to be there, but it won't matter.
Yeah.
Triple kill for Yamsun.
That's the BKB, right? Like, the moment he picks it up, they're ready to relocate, they're ready to fight. I love the way Nouns also smoked up. Usually, if you're playing versus an IO team, you know that the rest of the team is somewhere else, right? Like, there's IO plus that one IO compatriot, partner in crime, whatever, on one side of the map and 3 other heroes on the other. So Nouns kinda smoked up, went towards the IO, towards the bottom lane, caught Leshrac in the middle. Seems good.
Yeah. I mean, it's just Red getting trapped up, maybe having a bit too much confidence in the Bloodstone region, and obviously it doesn't pay off for him. And without the Leshrac, they just can't really keep going. Very, very tough kind of team fight here for 5RAT as they do drop 4. And well, now Nouns, 3k advantage their way. 9-6.
They're forcing TB now to fight mid. They can definitely take down the tier 1 tower. They shouldn't be punished for this. But the meta has been popped. Like, maybe a bit too much. Because now the BKB will be off cooldown on Razor. And if you're Nouns, I think that you're just looking to fight once again.
We'll see. 5RAT, they'll back off for now. Nouns have grouped up, and they are going to go for a 4-man smoke right on time.
Yeah. Like the TB still has meta though for like half of the duration, so you could perhaps wait for that, or you can just pounce. You don't care. You have 2 BKBs.
Bottom lane DNM, they know he's there. He was just farming the creep wave, so Gunnar, he can jump right in. He doesn't have any help around. It's just DNM against the world. In fact, he did have his Undying, but all he could do was drop a tombstone and run. So Gunnar picks up his 5th kill of the game, and that was almost a little bit too easy.
Yeah, it's like telegraphed, really. Like you should see this happening coming.
Oh, Red. Top lane, he's gonna go for a run. Snowball is there. The IO relocate to bring in Yamsun, I believe. They do at least find Lelis to get started. Red, he's actually gonna be able to run away. Instead, Moo's gonna turn his attention onto speed, but he literally just TPs out, and so does Red.
Just TP, lol.
They just got out of there for free.
Just TP, lol. There's no stuns on them anyway, so what's gonna happen? They can't stop you. Okay. Maybe Nouns feeling themselves a bit too much, you know, that confidence, that cockiness coming to them.
Yeah.
They lose Lelis. Like, he's the one that needed to survive there because he's the only one that can break those TPs.
Pretty rough.
Yeah.
At least you only lose Lelis. Like, it's just a pos 4 task at the end of the day, but...
Yeah, it's all fine. Like, for them in this game, like, losing Lelis isn't really a big deal. Like, but they want to constantly keep on the pressure. They want to constantly slow Rat down. So, because of that, losing him maybe is more significant than it seems. Just that you're not getting those kills, actually.
Yeah.
But they're in a good spot, though.
Yeah, it's still 3k advantage here for Nouns. 10-7, 21 minutes in. You still have Red at the top of the net worth board on this Leshrac, but as we've seen, like, the Bloodstone just doesn't seem to be doing quite enough yet. He is going to build into the BKB, which should make all the difference going into these team fights, just not allowing himself to get locked down by the side of Nouns. Speaking of Nouns, they have grouped up once again. Seems like they might even try for Roshan.
Straight into the pit. Like, they're wasting no time. You can see that the tempo in which they play this game is very fast, but it's also very on point. It's how they needed to play the game. I feel one thing that really went their way is this Gunnar Ember having a good time on the mid lane, and he's kind of carrying the tempo. He's kind of setting a lot of things up. The smoke is a bit late, it feels like.
Very late indeed. Roshan's already gone. Question is, do 5RAT still want to try and force the fight? It seems like they will. They'll make the jump in onto the Batrider, but no! There's going to be a big snowball save out from Lelis. Moo will survive for another day. Speed's the one to go down, and now Red's in trouble. He'll try to make a run out. Looks like Yamsun won't be able to chase him down, but instead they found DNM. Even better. Moo's sticking around, trying to kill off Yamsun. Can't get away with it. And Red... Well, Red's not safe yet either. Gunner's on the chase. Tier 2 tower, he will find protection in it, but no. Chains are out. Gunner finds it. Red will go down.
Wipe.
It's a full team wipe for the side of Nouns. And I mean, 5RAT, they go for a fight right after Roshan.
Yeah, that's a good wipe if I ever saw one. That's a really nice one. Like, I don't know who to commend, the Tusk or the IO, like Husky or Lelis, because both of them played a part in basically saving that fight, right? Like, you had the Holy Locket, you had the mech, you also had the Snowball. Which came first?
Holy Locket into the Snowball was what happened there.
So IO perhaps being on point a little bit faster, but both of them should be commended. Like, literally, the two supports saving the fight completely.
Absolutely. Very, very tough for 5RAT, just so close yet so far. I mean, had you found that Batrider to get started, it could have been a completely different team fight, but...
Yeah. Maybe if they just smoked a bit faster, like if they were there on time, but that looked like they're on time as well. Just didn't work out.
Well, now the Tier 2 top tower is going to be in danger. I think 5RAT after that last team fight does not want to engage again. especially into the Aegis of Yamsun. So they'll let the tier 2 top tower go down for free. Instead, they'll try to force in the mid lane. But Gunner's there to protect it, so they're not going to be able to get away with this at all. He's just going to clear the creep wave very easily with the Sleight of Fist. And Nouns, they're just done. Top tier 2's gone. We'll take your outpost. Nothing 5RAT can do about it. They've just got to go right back to the farming game.
It's kind of hard for them to play the map. Like if you're 5RAT, like you're playing versus a bat with a teleport, you're playing versus an Ember. I mean bat with the boots of travel, sorry. Like Ember that can remnant anywhere, you have IO relocate. It's just like splitting this map, being the true 5RATs, is very difficult for them. Like at best, illusions, I suppose, from TB can do the majority of the work and perhaps speed with the fireball, but that's it.
I'll group up again. Noun's going to head towards the south of the map. It seems like there are no giants around, but more importantly, speed is also around the corner. He'll blink into the tree line. Moves. Can he cancel? Oh, they got the chains out from Gunner. They can. They will miss out on speed at the end, but still Gunner now on a godlike spree. 9-0 and 6 on the Ember. And they might even find DNM. Shards, oh, it's barely off the mark, but they still seem to know he's in there somewhere. DNM going to be scouted. The snowball, though. Oh, reaction
Top
speed
lane,
a little
Ember.
bit too slow.
They
Meanwhile,
actually...
well, Gunner.
Yeah. Okay. What did Fear say? He can be a little bit overconfident from time to time. I don't know if we're gonna get the replay or not. I can give you the, too long didn't read. He went there alone on the Rubik and the Lash, got lifted, got stunned, then got stunned again by DK.
Ouch.
He thought he had Lincoln, so he's invincible. Happens. How much gold did he feed? 9 streak, 1,300 gold. Feels good, yeah.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Costly mistake.
Certainly is. It was kind of annoying as well. I was about to commend his Ember. I was about to, show off the fact that I made the comment earlier about his Ember, but, I'll just keep my mouth shut now, I suppose.
It's fine. We're all allowed one mistake per game.
Well, 5RAT now, they found the Ember. They're not really in a position where they're in control of this game at all, but there is still about a minute left for the Aegis, so perhaps they can wait that one out and try to make a bit of a group up and a bit of a team fight. Looks like they are going to find their Undying, so that'll be Giant gone immediately. Forget the team fight I just talked about. And Nouns, they might just go for a bottom tier 2 tower while they still hold the Aegis.
Is Giant taller than Saxa?
I highly doubt it.
Okay.
Highly, highly doubt it.
Then I form a petition to remove his nickname as Giant.
It's a bit unfair. I saw Saxa in person once. I didn't have the balls to say hello because I'd have to look so up. I'd almost break my neck saying hello to the poor guy. It's incredibly tall.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. It's the Balkan man.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. There's something in the genes there.
Something.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen for
I
us.
didn't get him. I don't know what it's about, but yeah.
Tier 2 bottom. It's gone. Nouns easily claim it. 5RAT. At the very least, the Aegis is no longer there, so you do have a bit of an opening now, but instead they're trying to maybe set up down a bot lane. Problem is it's only speed, and he will probably have to come back towards his base to try and protect that. In fact, never mind. Nouns just back off. They'll smoke up. They'll head across the map.
Yeah, you look at this DK, he bought the 4-staff, like Blink Force. Doesn't feel that great.
No.
Yeah. It's like your position 4 DK or something like that.
It's rough. Hey.
John who?
Illusions. We'll scout out the fact that they were smoked up because Moo did pop the Firefly early, so it gives the smoke away. Nouns will not be able to get anything out of this. The Nouns, you still control most of the map here. 5RAT do not want the fight. So I suppose you could just play the farming game if you really want to, but it does seem like they want to try and get some fights going. Mind you, again, when you control the map this hard, maybe you just don't need to. Of course, you are against DNM's TB, so perhaps the idea is we don't want to drag the game out too late against Terrorblade, but... What are you thinking? The matchup here against Nouns, do you think the TB just completely outscales them later on?
Honestly, I don't even know what I'm thinking. After these last 5 minutes of the game, my mind just kind of blanked. Nothing's happening. Nouns, I felt that they've kind of stepped off the ball. Sometimes it's all right to chill out, farm up a couple of items, but I'm not sure what the big exact item they're waiting for. Like Yamson going for that Satanic. Perhaps they could be taking the map a bit more aggressively, but...
Someone forgot a neutral item. There's an enchanted quiver sitting in the die triangle right now. Who was that? Who did it?
Come on, it has to be TB, right?
It's probably DNM, yeah.
Yeah, like some illusion play, forgetting it. They're pinging it out, I believe. Like he just did it, so...
I mean, it is a bit of a garbage item anyway, right? Who cares?
Yeah, completely.
Yeah.
100%. No, he didn't ping it out. He was pinging where he's going next to farm. He's like, I'm going here. Don't disturb me.
Can he see it? Surely he can see it.
I mean, he's probably watching the map somewhere. There we go.
All right. There you go. No, pick
Come
it up.
on.
DNM, come on. There you go. Okay. If he walked right over it, I would have been real upset.
Is anyone going to pick it up? Probably not, right?
Nah.
There's no one on their side that actually benefits from it that much, so... But still, you don't want to give it away.
Yeah.
I usually, like, if you're playing a carry, especially if you're playing something like a TB, you're not... Most of the time, you're not watching where your hero is. You're clicking the map, you're sending illusions everywhere. Like, there's absolutely no reason for your screen to be on your hero.
Oh, they just smoked up Lizard. Moo already breaks the smoke. BKB's in time speed, gonna get caught by the lasso. He tried to go for the initiation in, but immediately caught out, and now Gunner, he just wants the team fight. He'll rush forward. The Lincoln's is broken, and the lift will be there from Moose to make sure the chase cannot continue, but he is not done yet anyway. No chains out, though. He did miss. So Moose and Giant, they're going to be just fine to back themselves out. But the tier 2 tower is just going to go down for free, it seems. And I mean, if you're 5RAT, you can't really fight without your DK, right?
Yeah, he got that blink, he got that force, and Moose was like, okay, thank you for coming to me.
Oh.
I have, Octarine Core, there's Psychic Headband as well, like he lassos from a mile away. Red?
Gunner's got somebody. Looks like it's Red on the left rack. Red's still going to be okay to back off, but again, the tier 2 tower is the main objective here for Nouns. And they do have a double damage to go back to as well. This is the roughest part, is Gunner. He's going to run right into it. Looks like Yamson will be the one to bottle it up. But Roshan's up in about a minute from now.
Red.
He's running.
He's got no TP. He has BKB though.
Oh, they connect with the plasma field as well. Yamson gonna connect perfectly as Red still trying to run, but the chase is ongoing. Chains will land. Force out the BKB. Red, how fast can you run? It seems like he's gonna be fast enough, even the lift up to make sure he gets away, but they're still chasing him down. DNM now the one in danger. He's trying to run himself. The slow is not gonna be there from Yamson. Looks like everyone is gonna be okay.
That was literally the best. Okay, let me wait a bit. Okay.
Yes. Chains?
He's fine. That was literally the best rescue I've seen in a while, and I don't know. It's like one of those Sylvester Stallone expendable movies or something. Like they move in, they save the lash, they put the TB as a bait, then they lift the lash out with the Rubik's shard, and they put the tombstone in the end to slow them down. Like I don't know. Like, really nicely played by 5RATFORCESTAFF. And obviously, it's in the name of the team now. I understand the 4-staff on DK.
Yeah.
So there's one on DK, there's one on Rubik, there's one on, obviously, on Terrorblade. It's a pike, but whatever, it counts.
Giant might go down immediately. Barely survives for now. In fact, Yamson's the one getting taken down. With the Eye of Skadi on the TB, it's very hard for Yamson to try and get away from this, but they do make the jump in along with Lelis, and Yamson somehow is still alive thanks to his IO. He is not going down. Oh, Red's the one in trouble, but Gunner gets sundered. DNM still gonna drop anyway. It doesn't matter. Lelis comes back in. Speed is gone. They're brought back on Red. Moves will drop as well. Lelis somehow securing a triple kill on the pos 4 Tusk, but eventually will fall. But here comes the cavalry. Giant, he is still alive, but not for long. He is gone once again. In fact, that was a dieback. Red, can he survive through it? He brought back as well. He cannot afford to die right now, but Yamson is not going to chase him down. The Tombstone, they're a bit afraid to keep fighting into it.
Yeah, the Tombstone did a lot of work there. I mean, didn't really do a lot of work, just saved Lash from dying, basically. Yeah. From dying twice, right? Like, did he buy back? He did. He bought back as well. That was a really bad fight if you're Dire. Like, you just lost a ton of your heroes, some of them twice. Does not feel that great. The fight was kind of straightforward though. Nothing extremely special. They committed on the bat. They couldn't finish him off. Meanwhile, Tusk was just cleaning up the house behind, so...
Yeah. Well, Roshan's still up. Nouns definitely want to try and secure that if they can. Of course, 5RAT do not want to give that one away if they can avoid it.
Honestly, that whole fight, I was just counting 4 staffs. How many usages did they get? Not too many. And apparently they're not buying all 5 4 staffs, so that's why they're losing.
Very, very sad. It's Nouns.
Lash isn't getting one, you know.
Gunner, gonna move in. Changes out, moves. Immediately gonna get bursted down. Though he does get the 4 staff off, it's just not gonna make the difference.
There are 5 rats, 4 staffs.
It's terrible. It just makes no sense. The Nouns, they can go right after Roshan now, and it's just completely open for them. They can try to fight back here on 5RAT, but without your Rubik for another minute, it just seems like they don't even want to try for this.
Do you think that because... I'm gonna stop, I can't. Like, because your name has 4 staff in it, are you like more inclined to buy the item?
Oh, they do buy a lot of 4 staffs. The thing is, when it gets nerfed harder, the question is what happens after that? Like, what does his team do?
And 4 staff was nerfed for so long. Like, leave the item be, please. It's one of the best items for me in the game.
Yeah.
When it's in the game. It doesn't have to be broken. Just make it viable and I'm happy.
It's a good item.
Yeah, it just makes a lot of things happen for you and for your teammates. Like, it makes the game more dynamic too, so I like it.
Tier 3 towers under siege now. I mean, Nouns, they are kind of defending and pushing at the same time. Speed's already been caught out on the Dragon Knight and he might just be gone.
He just doesn't feel like a core.
Doesn't feel like a Dragon Knight.
Doesn't feel like a Dragon Knight, definitely.
And that tier 3 tower, it's still under siege. Yamson's just been there along with his IO. Always has the relocate back play, and well, Yamson might just casually walk out instead. They'll lift up the IO, they'll take him down, Husky's gone, but Yamson's still freely able to just walk out of there, and they just can't do anything about it.
Yeah, they popped the meta, so that's a really... That's a rough thing to do, because the moment IO is up, maybe even without the IO, they can fight you once the meta is out, so... You defended the high ground at least.
The thing is now, though, you have a refresh orb available on Yamson. Like, he's going to be a real problem now on this Razor.
Yeah, he's a Chad Razor right now.
Yeah.
With the Satanic, with the Refresher.
Very problematic.
And you have an IO, right? So, are you gonna die in this game? Most likely not. Red.
Getting jumped, Red already caught. Lasso's perfect from Moo. Tips are out from Gunner. And Red is gone. That's how you know that things are not looking too bright for you when Gunner starts tipping. And here we go. I mean, if you are Nouns, you just move high ground. Like, there's no buyback available on this Lash track.
Yeah, that's 100 seconds without the Lash. That's 80 seconds without the meta. Yep,
Easy.
That's a high ground push, my man.
Certainly is. Nothing to stop it. I mean, 5RAT, they could at least try to slow it down with moves on this Rubik. They'll pop a Glyph. Moo, in the meantime, finds Giant. That'll be Undying gone.
I don't think they fight here. They just wait until Lash is back up. Like,
Gunner,
if they manage to wait that long.
he'll fight for sure. He'll just jump in right into the Rubik. Finds one. Speed, he'll be okay in the fountain, but now they'll just keep going. They don't care. They're just so far ahead now. 20k advantage.
It's like 40 seconds, right? Like, there's no meta. There's no Lash for 50. Yeah, you just push, you take 2 sides. Rats, they've got maybe one more fight in them.
Yeah, I was about to ask you if it's about time to call it, but there you go. One last team fight perhaps here for 5RATFORCESTAFF.
You can kind of always guess if a team is gonna call or not. Maybe if they killed the DK here.
Yeah, Speed may have had enough of life here as the chase is on. Sleight of Fist connects. Moo, he has the info. Speed will go down. He does have buyback, so they might just hold down a little bit longer.
Yeah, you're just waiting. You have the meta now in 4 seconds. Lash is back up. But, okay. You won't lose all the Raxes. One more fight in them.
Backdoor protection, doesn't matter. Yamson hits hard enough. Now they've got the creeps as well. through the mid lane, and that'll be the tier 3 tower bottom. Now, this is just a casual push happening. Like, no one's defending whatsoever. There is now going to be a smoke up from 5RAT. There's still 20 seconds for their DK to be back up, but again, they can buy back on speed if they wish. Splitter's going to land immediately, or rather miss immediately, as Gunner, he's going to make a jump in. Undying Giant, he might already just be gone, and he will be. Gunner picks him off. Yamsun, he'll go on to another. DNM in trouble, is still going to survive through this, but now they are just going for objectives. They don't really care about the team fight. In goes Gunner once again. DNM now in massive danger, is being chased down, will go down on the TB.
GG.
That's it. They call it. A very rough game here for 5RAT, and you know, to be fair to 5RAT, they did have a good first half of the game when things were being played very, very slowly.
Man, there was nothing they could do. The man in the NA Bold Eagle shirt called for nouns victory.
He certainly did.